We have a big job breaking out today. This is coming out, that engine is coming out. Swap the belts over, put the keyed crank pulley on, put this engine in my 5, put my engine to one side. So it is now 8:30. We're gonna start stripping this, get this out, roll mine in, get it out, and roll it out, and then we're gonna wait for Ash to come by and swap the belts over, dephaser, crank pulley. Yeah. Basically, this engine got built like 2 years ago. It's only done like 200 miles, but you know, it's like my belts are new, so I may as well swap my belts over. But yeah, I'm gonna set up a time lapse. I'm pulling it out. I'll stop and show you the interesting bits, but basically I'm just going to be pulling hoses off, pulling inlets off, and pulling wiring off, basically, so it's just a bare engine with the box, and we can just pull that out. So yeah, let's get cracking. So basically we're starting off just by taking the bonnet off. It's easier access, taking HT leads off, coil pack, undoing wiring, trying to get it out basically without damaging anything. We've taken the top mount off there, air filter, the bumper's now coming off, the front brace is coming off, basically just to get better access into the car. All the hoses are coming off, just basically stripping the car down to the bare engine so that it's ready to pull out. At this point I was struggling getting the manifold off. One of the bolts, it was slightly rounded, so I just need a little fettling to get that off. Leo decided to drop by, give me a bit of extra motivation to get the swap done. As you can see, ladies and gents, looks a lot different now. All the cooling system's out, all the engine wiring's out, the manifold is unbolted. So I'm going to bring the engine crane in, basically just to brace the engine, because I have removed one mount already. I don't want to start removing mounts and then the engine drop onto the subframe. So I'll get the engine crane in, you know, take the weight of the engine, and then I can start unbolting the likes of this mount here and then any other mounts. I'm sure there's one in the back. Yeah, I can just see it down there. So yeah, let's get to that, ladies and gents. Now at this point, before I started bracing the engine crane up to take the engine out, I needed to get the shafts out. Very similar to the camper shafts, even though there's a bracket on the end of the engine for the driver's side shaft, which was causing me a bit of issues, but the engine still managed to come out with that shaft attached. The passenger side one was removed. Now we're getting the engine crane in, ready to take it out. Well, ladies and gents, it is out. The engine had been partly pulled apart. It was stripped basically. So I was literally, I had to buy all, it didn't have the hoses on it or anything like that. I had to buy all new bits and bats. Well, there's a couple of bits on that like I didn't know about, like certain mounts. Didn't know that such and such thing needed to come off to take this off, to take that off. And yeah, it was just a fucking ball ache, to be honest with you. Because the engine that was in that Clio uses different mounting points, an F4R and a Renault 5. So the camera died when I was doing the time lapse. So by the time I pulled the engine out to come and film it, obviously both batteries were dead. So I'm going to bang this on time lapse while one battery still charges. Basically just going to pull the front end off this now, because I'm going to have to figure out the rad, because I'm going to use the rad off that car because it's a bigger rad setup, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I'm going to crack on pulling all the bits and bats off the front of this now, so it's a clean opening, so we can just crack on that without damage anything. I am up. I put the guy who's timing the engines up off till tomorrow. Like I said, we're on fucking hell. I've just had to tidy up. We're on 3:15 already. So my intentions of having both engines out by 12 o'clock did not go to plan. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this one now. He's going to be here in the morning to swap the belts over and keyed crank pulley and whatnot. And then yeah, hopefully that'll be in by the end of the day and running, fingers crossed. Like I said, I've got to figure out the cooling setup first, but I may have discovered an issue where the drive shaft on the driver's side is different to mine. Basically, mine doesn't have this bracket. I can't quite remember, but this isn't here, and there's like a big, it's like a big triangle thing. It looks like a rotor, like a piston rotor. So yeah, we're gonna bang that on. Well, we'll take mine out, and then we can compare the two and see what needs to be done. Yeah, because hopefully I'm getting it tuned on the Tuesday. Well, we'll see. Let's crack on. So it's time pulling the 5 apart now. Bonnet off, grill off, bumpers off. Just gives us better access. All the inlets are off. We're starting to pull the wiring off, so as I'm removing bits and bats, I'm not damaging any wiring because I need the phase 1 loom as opposed to the 182 loom. So now we're cracking on, starting to remove the shafts from either side. Starting on the passenger side, nice and easy, a couple of bolts, and she's out. We're moving on to the driver's side. This one's a bit more awkward, but again, they're pretty simple setup, the hub assembly, so it's dead easy to get out. Just unbolting all the engine mounts, getting the engine crane in to be able to get the engine out. It's all braced up, and here she comes. Slowly but surely getting out, just making sure I'm not damaging anything. Well, shaggers, that is the engine out. They're both out. Another bad story. What a fucker. Basically, I dropped the inlet. It hit the car door, is what it is. Can't do much about it, unfortunately. That's just the way cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Like the biscuits, isn't it?
But I'm gonna lay this down now. I shall be here in the morning to take the belts off. Belts, dephaser, keyed crank pulley off this one and bang them on that one. Only reason being was that's sat for 2 years, so you know it's a fresh belt, been sat for 2 years, needs changing. I've measured that up. I should have 5mm clearance through here, but the only issue I've got is I don't think my rad's gonna fit, so I'm calling it quits for today. I am fucking knackered. But yeah, this one's out, that one's out. Bob's your uncle. We'll crack on again tomorrow. We'll get here a bit earlier, start swapping a couple bits over, stripping a couple of bits. Let Ash get in, do his timing and whatnot, and then get the other one in. Hopefully get it running. But no promises, but like I said, I don't think the tune on Tuesday is going to go ahead. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What else can you do? So yeah, see you tomorrow. Alright, ladies and gents, it's day 2 on the engine swap. Ash is on his way now as we speak to swap the belts over, dephaser, keyed crank pulley, and yeah, I'm gonna start stripping bits off this one now, like the mounts and stuff like that, and taking stuff off that, so everything's ready when he turns up. But yeah, let's get cracking. Well, ladies and gents, all the bits that I need are stripped off that and put on that. Basically it's a different manifold setup, so instead of the manifold coming over the top and look at the cam cover on that one and the cam cover on that one, this is different. It's a different breather setup. So this manifold, fuel pressure regulator, throttle body goes on the end, one sensor in there, one sensor just underneath. You have to have the thermostat housing welded different to point down because it comes out straight. But yeah, undone all this shit from the back, so my camper shaft suits this spline. Yeah, rear engine mount is on. Basically I've left the front mounts off because it's easy to get in, so it doesn't, it's less, especially that gearbox mount, it sticks out quite a bit. I've got 5mm clearance I've measured on this, so I've left it on. If needs be I can take it off, it's no issue, but I've left it on. Just basically it's a ball ache to take off on and off, so yeah. It's all timed up, new belts, new dephaser, new crank pulley. Let's crack on. Again, slowly but surely getting it back in. Quickly realised that the manifold would be in the way, so I've whipped that off. But these engines need to go in on an angle, the gearbox needs to go in first and then drop the other side in, otherwise the frame, it'll clash with the frame rails. The missus has dropped by, she's made me some dinner, what a gem. Now, belly's full, cracking back on, just getting the mounts in place, bit of fettling to get them right, and make sure that the metal timing cover doesn't hit the strut tower. Now we're putting the inlet manifold back on, plenty of clearance, like I said, I've got at least 5mm. Now I had a bit of an issue with the wiring because the fuel rail is in a different location. I had to strip some of the wiring and send some wires elsewhere, so we're just fettling with that. Would you guess the battery's died again? Basically all the wiring is in, leads are ran. I'm gonna mount up my big fucking 40mm high flow rad now because everyone was saying that one was too small, so I'm gonna mount that up. So I've got to drill a couple more holes and sort the brackets out, so I'm gonna set you up somewhere where you can see that, and yeah, do another little time lapse. So we're putting this big high flow rad on, making sure the grille and the bumper still fit. Basically, people were moaning last time saying my overpressurizing issue was due to the rad being too small, which I think is bollocks, but just to keep everybody sweet, we have now got a big high flow rad. Some of the hoses need cutting to suit. Basically, they're a shorter distance from each other as opposed to being in the 172, so they need shortening down. That's where I'm leaving it today, ladies and gents. It's pretty much there. If I had another couple of hours I'd get it running, but basically the missus goes away tomorrow, so I just want to spend the night with her, some tea and chill out. Hopefully get it running tomorrow night, back on it, put the shafts in, gear oil, engine oil, put the fan on because the fan needs to go on there yet, and yeah, everything's all where it needs to be. All the hoses ran. It's a bit tight on the air filter, alright, but it is what it is. Maybe in time we can get one that wraps around and is behind here maybe, but yeah, it's pretty much all there, ladies and gents. Just got a few bits to sort out, a couple of engines, grounds, a couple of breather lines and stuff like that, but that's it. So as far as day 2 goes, I'm pretty chuffed with that. Both engines out yesterday, engine in today, timed up and whatnot, and yeah, it's worked out well, so I'm chuffed to bits with that. Roll on tomorrow, day 3. Well, while the camera's been off, I made some alterations. Basically all the pipings ran and tight, all the wires are ran, all the grounds are ran, manifolds tightened up, selector rods tightened. I'm just dropping the oil at the moment, and we're obviously going to go with the best in the business. This is Motel's like fast road oil. Like I said, they do a better one for racing, strictly racing, but considering I'm only going to be doing fast road setup for this is the perfect one for the job. So we're going to top this up now. We're going to top the gear oil up as well, and then put some coolant in and hopefully give her a start. I'll do a little time lapse here of me filling this up now. Now this is the boring stuff, basically just draining the oil, topping up the oil, starting off doing by the coolant, just bleeding the system. There's a bleed nipple on the thermostat housing, basically just pull it out until yeah, it's squirting out and there's no air left in the system. These are a self-bleeding system anyway. Now I'm cracking on with the driver's side shaft while doing the gearbox oil. We ran into a little bit of an issue which you'll see shortly. Well, we ran into an issue, ladies and gents. As you can see, this is the driver's side shaft and it's cross-threaded. That'd have been from me last time, and I thought, I fucked it, this is it, I'm not going to be able to get it to the dyno, whatever. Lo and behold, I remembered in my memory how shit it is. Don't know how I remembered, but I thought, this car came with 2 spare shafts when I got it. Mate, someone has answered my prayers. This one must have been the 172 shaft because it's a bit shorter. That is the exact right size. Let's get it on. Come on! Let's crack on. One final push now. We're going to have a quick tidy up, get all the shit out of the way. Got a full belly, change of clothes, got some beers in the fridge in case the going gets tough. It's now 8 o'clock. Let's fucking crack on. Well, ladies and gents, I think we are ready for the first start. I think everything's plugged in. I think everything's back together right. Only one way to find out, isn't there? I'm going to grab the keys and a beer. Check. All the engine grounds are in. Belts are tight. That is everything. Bar one thing. The breather. Wouldn't have been a be all and end all, but let's bang it. Fucking hell, let's put it on there. Right. Check that with the fuel pumps priming. Any fuel leaks. Could have fucked about with these a little bit. Ow, you fucking dick. That's alright. Well, at least you know it runs. That smoke coming off there, that would have just been my fucking hands all over the exhaust. That calls of a celebration, don't you? Got a bit of wisdom on you here. I am not a mechanic by any means. I'm a joiner by trade, who's good with his hands, and these cars are just nut and bolts. That's all it is, nuts and bolts holding them together. So I know it looks confusing, and I didn't know how to do this. Alright, I did an engine swap with the help of a lot of people through WhatsApp, but this, you know, it's a different inlet setup, only one other person's done it. It's not that much different, but slightly different, yeah. Cheers. Thanks to all those who prayed as well. Sorry if it sounds a bit bad, but where we left off yesterday, did a late night, managed to get the OBD port in, the car's running fine, we've made it, TFI. So Chris is going to leave it in his hands, let him do his magic, and hopefully, yeah, we'll be sending it on the way home, if the rain keeps off, that is. Weather's a bit shit today. But I'm not going to film inside here, don't want to intrude, you know what I mean? Just want to, I'll show you the figures once we're done, maybe get a couple of sneaky clips during, but yeah, I don't want a camera in his face sort of thing, you know what I mean? Let's do it. It is now the next day. Dyno session went swimmingly. I've just given the car a quick once over. Yeah, where can I put you? Where can I put you? Put yours on there. Yeah, went swimmingly. We ended up making 195, which I'm pretty chuffed with. I had like high 180s, low 190s, so like a mid 190s, pretty happy. See for yourselves. What is this?
What's this? Huh?
Yeah, I'll put a picture on screen for a better view, but mate, it's a different car, completely different car. You'll enjoy the next video because my brother's on his way, so I'm going to take out in him and he'll have the first reaction to it as a passenger. They're never as fast with a passenger, these lightweight cars, so obviously I've got the true reaction, but yeah, I'll want to take him for a spin, try and scare him a little bit. But he's slowly getting into cars, so hopefully with him passing his test and getting his first car, hopefully he gets into project cars and then he'll never have any money ever again. So that's it, ladies and gents, the car is done. Well, say done, I've got a drive shaft to swap. That one that I put in, not swap it, but change the boots on it. I didn't have time to change the boots, so I just wanted to get it to dyno, but the boots need changing on it. It must be, they're all perish, must be at least 10-year-old. Yeah, chuffed to bits. So thank you very much for watching and thanks for the support. Hopefully you enjoy the next video.